No one started me being like, oh, where's Keanu gone? He's over there in the corner. I'm tired. I wish I could go back to bed. I don't want to be moving, rearranging stuff around. Let's just get into today's video, which is an article about who else? Jeffree Star. And also Mr. Beast and FaZe Clan, but let's focus on the Jeffree Star part. So the article comes from Mashable. FaZe Clan, Jeffree Star and Mr. Beast received coronavirus relief loans. A number of high-earning online figures received federal relief loans designated for helping small businesses to get through the pandemic, including Mr. Beast, Jeffree Star and FaZe Clan. Companies belonging to YouTubers Mr. Beast and Jeffree Star were approved of Paycheck Protection Program (PPP) loans this spring, per ProPublica's searchable database. Mr. Beast, YouTube LLC, and Jeffree Star Cosmetics, Star's makeup company, were approved for loans of $350,000 to $1 million. FaZe Clan Inc., an esports lifestyle brand and gaming organization that roughly employs 70 players and content creators, was approved for a loan of $1 to $2 million. The loans were specifically created to help small businesses severely affected by the coronavirus pandemic to retain their employees. With a 1% interest rate and the potential for a full loan forgiveness if all employee retention criteria are met and the funds are used for eligible expenses, PPP loans are especially needed by small businesses that haven't been able to function amid severe social distancing restrictions. That's what I find quite confusing about all of this. Do the companies actually need the loans? Doesn't make much sense. Jeffree Star just bragged about being on a private plane flying out of LA because of all the wildfires. He trashes, handbags worth 20 grand. He bought a hotel resort for a house. He also has other companies as well as Jeffree Star Cosmetics. He has like his weed company, whatever. Does he need this loan for his employees? Jeffree Star basically constantly brags about how much wealth he's accumulated over the years, so that's what's odd about this to me. Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, who has 42.8 million subscribers, which is weird because I swear yesterday he had 20 million. I don't know where 42 million has come from. Frequently gives away cash prizes, cars, and most recently a private island through outlandish stunts. Describing Mr. Beast as YouTube's viral philanthropist, Verge reported that the lavish giveaways he holds are funded by brand deals in YouTube's AdSense revenue. But that's another weird one, because I checked Mr. Beast's Social Blade, and I think this month he's had like 400 million views, which is insane. So he's made upwards of $1 million on Social Blade, or was it £1 million on my English one? $1 million something. But the thing about Social Blade is there's a cap on the highest earning you can make according to Social Blade. It actually caps off, whereas actually a lot of bigger creators earn more per 1,000 views than the cap on Social Blade dictates. I didn't know that either until I found out about that. I had no idea as well. Basically, big YouTubers, the majority of them, make a lot more than you'd actually think if you were just looking on Social Blade alone. A lot more. At the height of the Black Lives Matter protests in June, Mr. Beast pledged to split $150,000 donation, keep slipping into, what am I? British. Between an organisation for fighting racial equality. I'm really tired, I just got really confused then, because the way I said that, it sounded like fighting against equality, whatever. An organisation that fights for police reform, and 5 small business owners who would receive $10,000 each. Maybe it's not me that can't talk, maybe these people can't write. Mr. Beast YouTube LLC was approved for a PPP loan on April 14, 2020. A representative for Mr. Beast YouTube LLC confirmed that the company received a PPP loan, but did not clarify how much the company had received. The representative told Mashable that the company had over 40 employees and many brand partnerships fell through in the wake of the pandemic. Only 7 jobs are listed in the Small Business Administration data, which the representative chalked up to an initial clerical error on the application. In total, Mr. Beast YouTube LLC received a PPP loan of $377,000. Multiple sponsors pulled out of our projects. Our advertising revenue plummeted by 70%. We didn't have access to testing, so we also had no idea at the time when we would be able to produce new content. We felt this was the best avenue that would help us weather the storm. The representative added the business has thankfully rebounded in the months since the initial hit of social distancing regulations, and the Donaldson, that's Donaldson. Who the fuck is Donaldson? Is that Mr. Beast's real name? Donaldson. I don't know, and I don't care to look. Donaldson, whoever the fuck that is, created over 50 full-time jobs in Greenville, North Carolina, where he currently resides. Mr. Beast LLC is different from Jimmy Donald. Is it? I'm gonna look. Yeah, Jimmy Donaldson. See, I was right. You don't fuck with this brain. Mr. Beast LLC is different from Jimmy's personal accounts. Jimmy. Wow, I'm tired. Sorry. I was just laughing, so I was thinking of like Jimmy Neutron. The representative continued. All charitable donations, including 150k to Black Lives Matter and 250k to Special Effect, of course, did not come from company resources. Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Jeffree Star, who boasts 17.2 million subscribers, was listed among Forbes' highest paid YouTubers in 2018. He brought in $18 million, Forbes reported. And his makeup company, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, is worth an estimated $100 million. The way that Jeffree's spoken about in that documentary he did with Shane Dawson, not the one with the sellout cash grab palette, not the conspiracy palette, the one before where they were talking about doing the palette, and their eyes lit up at the thought of making all that money. Because the way he talked about it then, I swear he was more like hundreds of millions of dollars. And considering all the other businesses Jeffree has, like the weed business and the that warehouse, that not the one for the makeup but for doing YouTuber merch and stuff, I would think he has more than $18 million, but that's just me being cynical. Revenue likely took a hit when Morphe, a makeup brand and brick-and-mortar store for Jeffree Star Cosmetics, cut ties with Jeffree Star following backlash for his history of blatant racism. I was laughing because I like the way they wrote that. Blatant racism. They didn't beat around the bush. After YouTuber Tati Westbrook uploaded an explosive video claiming that who's Stephanie? Stephanie Mayer, what am I doing? Claiming that star and YouTuber Shane Dawson manipulated her into publicly condemning her protege, James Charles. Because they were jealous of the much younger influencer's success, former fans turned their back on Star and Dawson. That, however, all went down in July. Jeffree Star Cosmetics was approved for a PPP loan on May 3rd. Representatives for Jeffree Star Cosmetics did not respond to Mashable's multiple inquiries about whether the company received loans in the range cited in the SBA data. There was something similar that went on in England, a furlough scheme where the government was paying most of some people's wages. And people like Victoria Beckham, who has one of her own, I don't know if it's like a handbags, clothes, I don't know, people that work, Victoria Beckham was an example of, she put her staff on the furlough scheme when she and David Beckham have like a mass wealth, and instead of having the staff have to rely on the government's handout, they could have just, dipped into their own pockets. And some people might say, well, why should they? And it's like, well, because these people work for you and you're incredibly, I'm not talking about people with like 1 million or 2 million net worth where like, if they had to give out 100k, that would be a dent. If you had 1 million net worth, like 100k, that's 10%. That'd be a dent. You probably have a lot of outgoings, whatever. But let's see how much money Victoria, I'm pretty sure it was Victoria Beckham. If not, I'm literally just slagging off the Beckhams in this post. Once I accidentally swore at David Beckham. It was an accident. I accidentally swore at David Beckham. So, sorry, mate. Net worth, the Beckhams, $450 million. Now, right, these people will all have financial advisors which would have said, oh yeah, well, the logical and smarter thing to do would be just put them on the furlough scheme. But morally and ethically, like just because you can do something, maybe you shouldn't. Because there would have been people who needed to be on that furlough scheme who were in jobs where they didn't get to work for the Beckhams, you know what I mean? I mean, some people might argue about that, but it's like, guys, you're simping for like multi-millionaires who don't care about you and don't, it's like when people simp for millionaires. They don't, like Jeff Bezos, he doesn't care about you, doesn't give a shit. Elon Musk, he doesn't care. And I used to quite like Elon Musk a few years ago. Well, I matured and grew up. He doesn't give a fuck about you either. Like, don't simp for billionaires online or millionaires who have like hundreds of millions. It's just pretty cringe, bro. That's all I'm saying. FaZe Clan is valued at $240 million, ranking 4th on Forbes' most valuable esports companies. Both an esports organization and lifestyle brand, its backers include rapper Offset, Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, and NBA players Josh Hart and Jamal Murray. Bill Murray. Jamal Murray. Jesus. In early April this year, the organisation closed a $40 million funding round that also secured an exclusive partnership with NTWRK, an e-commerce platform that also works with Nike and Puma. As a growing business, we continue to expand our staff in January. We are grateful for the PPP loan because it allowed us to retain 100% of our employees, despite having to reduce our revenue projection by many millions in esports alone due to the pandemic. We are grateful for the PPP loan. FaZe Clan CEO Lee Trink said in a statement to Mashable, "It has always been our intention to repay the loan in full, and we plan to as soon as it is safe to do so. I do not look at this terrible moment as an opportunity," Trink told Forbes about raising money during the pandemic. "But we are fortunate we are in the right industry for a moment like this, when everyone is turning to esports and streaming, and we are positioned to be on the bigger side, to be bigger on the other side of it." The SBA approved the roughly $1.1 million loan the same month. FaZe Clan's head of communications, Chelsea Northern, confirmed in an email to Mashable. In a follow-up email, FaZe Clan clarified that the company actually closed on the deal in December 2019, and that it was announced in April this year, just before being approved for the PPP loan. Northern noted that none of the PPP funds the company received were allocated to the players and content creators themselves. A House Oversight Committee concluded that thousands of PPP loans were awarded to companies that should not have received them. In a report released last Tuesday by the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Crisis, the Trump administration distributed loans to companies that didn't fill out complete applications. Didn't read them properly, just went, "Yep, that'll do. Fuck it." Companies that have been flagged for significant performance and integrity issues, and companies that have been banned from federal contracts. What a shit show. While the loans have kept thousands of small businesses from shuttering during the pandemic, many large companies snagged loans before small businesses could. That's the problem, isn't it? Small businesses that need the loans the most, meanwhile, were largely excluded from the first few rounds of loan distribution. Economists at the University of Chicago and MIT found that just 15% of establishments in the areas most affected by decline in hours worked and business shutdowns received PPP funding. In areas least affected, in contrast, 30% of establishments received PPP funding. The loan program has faced significant backlash for awarding millions to corporate law firms, hedge fund managers, and companies with ties to Trump. What a surprise! As thousands of small businesses struggle to stay afloat amid continued social distancing restrictions, YouTubers and other online figures are still able to safely churn out content. Immensely successful companies like Jeffree Stars and FaZe Clan are hardly the brands hurting the most right now. Mr. Beast, meanwhile, has a warning for unsolicited appeals for help on his YouTube channel's About page. "Do not email me asking for money. You will be ignored and blocked," he wrote. So I actually saw Philip DeFranco talk about this a couple of hours ago, and that's why I figured I'd make a video. Philip DeFranco did that classic fence sitting thing because he's very unbiased all of the time. Why am I trying to start? No offense, I'm just tired, that's all. I'm just in an argumentative mood. But he said, some people on social media were saying that the YouTubers should never have gone for that money in the first place, and other people were saying, well, it's the government's fault and they should regulate it. What do you guys think? And I think you can think both at once. Why are some people incapable of just keeping two trains of thought going? You can say the government probably should have been checking better who were applying, and also say mega rich YouTubers maybe shouldn't be trying to apply for loans, helping small businesses out. But then it's like, but why? I don't understand the why, but I don't understand why, especially if you're like Jeffree Star and you're always flaunting about like how much money you make and how much money your company makes. Why would you need to apply for these loans? That's what I'm confused about. That's what I want to hear about in the comments below. Why does he have less money than we thought? Was it just financial advice so he won't have to, God forbid, dip into his own pocket for his employee? I'm confused. But also, can we all agree it's probably really poor taste to constantly brag about how much money you have, how many millions you have, and then apply for these coronavirus relief funding loan things? Like, Surely that is in poor taste. How many people is it going to piss off if I say it's almost as if the rich love socialism for themselves? Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Who would enjoy this? I can't talk for half of it. I'm in the wrong tense right now. I couldn't talk for most of it. I don't know who would enjoy this. Follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.